Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Tuga, has said that Donald Trump's administration was trying to pressure Nigeria to take Venezuelan criminals or illegal immigrants into Nigeria, in the same way that he pressured South Sudan to take people who are not from South Sudan into South Sudan, including last week when they dumped 8, I believe it was, convicted murderers from places as far off as Laos and Mexico, convicted murderers, and dump them in South Sudan. And that this is a policy the Trump administration is trying to pressure African countries to take either illegal immigrants from America or convicted criminals from America into their countries. Not that they are repatriating their own citizens. Criminals from Colombia, Mexico, wherever, they're dumping them in Africa, in African countries. And that this is part of the pressure that led to the reversal of the visa policy. Nigeria has never had a reciprocal visa policy with America. I need you guys to understand that it's always been easier for Americans to come to Nigeria than it is for Nigerians to go to America. They can get an e-visa, which has replaced the visa on arrival, which is what was the 3-month single entry. You come, you apply for your e-visa, you get your e-visa, you come in. You can also apply for a visa, like an actual tourist visa, and that they give 2-year visas, they give 5-year visas. So those visas have always been available, and the Tinubu administration said they have never changed those policies. The only thing that changed was that visa on arrival changed to e-visa. So considering that they've never changed these policies, then we're left to believe what our Minister of Foreign Affairs has said, which is that they are putting pressure for other reasons. And I know there was a lot of talk online about BRICS. BRICS, relate that to tariffs. Tariffs is different. You have tariffs on one side, visa on another side. On one side, these two things are different. Before I go, I'd like to again congratulate Nigerian Trump supporters.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another video. It's Ndagire here. Thanks for clicking on today's video. We are going to be talking about how Western countries are ganging up on African countries, and the reason behind it is actually delusional. I would say totally delusional. Some people are like, the reason why, let's say, the US, Trump and his administration is, enforcing laws on African people, like, denying Africans, visas, reducing their visa, stays in their countries, like putting a lot of like restrictions, is because of, the countries that went to like the BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro. And some people are like, no, wait a minute. It's not because of that. It is because, especially for the US, they've been trying to, push people away from their country with these mass deportations that we have all been seeing, that have been sharing on this platform. And it's insane for me to see that the US sees African countries as a dumping place where if anything is not going well in their country, they can just be like, what, I have African countries. They can take this for me. Let them take this burden for me. So now they are attacking Nigeria because they refuse to take in refugees. Are they even refugees? Nigeria refused to take in the deportees or the immigrants that the US is kicking out. And those immigrants are not even from America.
You have to also bear in mind that the US is mounting considerable pressure on African countries to accept Venezuelans to be deported from the US, some straight out of prison. It will be difficult for a country like Nigeria to accept Venezuelan prisoners into Nigeria. We have, in the famous words of, I don't know if you know the US rap group called Public Enemy. If you do, then you'll remember a line from Flavor Flav, a member of the group, who said, Flavor Flav has problems of his own. I can't do nothing for you, men. We have enough problems of our own. We cannot accept Venezuelan deportees to Nigeria, for crying out loud. We already have 230 million.
And the worst thing of all is they are literally criminals from prisons. They are criminals. Why send people to countries that are not their countries? If people are from South America, people are from Asian countries, people are from other, places of the world, why choose Africa? That clearly shows that they don't respect us. They don't respect us, and they know our leaders are cowards. But I love the energy that Nigeria is sending back, even though it is costing people, because now visas are, having issues. They are putting laws on visas on Nigerians, so the whole country is suffering. But I think it's important for the country to suffer in that way than to be disrespected by wanting us to just apply to whatever white nations have to say for us to obey.
I see that some of you are mistakenly thinking that the reason why United States banned Nigeria from going to their country or maybe impose some visa restrictions was as a result of President Tinubu's visit to the BRICS conference. That is a completely misconstrued narrative. The truth of the matter is, in this regard, I will actually want to be very, maybe I want to comment strongly the stand on Nigerian government on this. Because for the past 4 months, the United States has been demanding Nigeria to accept hardened criminals that are imprisoned Venezuelans to be repatriated back to Nigeria from the US. And when they are repatriated, it's not that they are going to be imprisoned in Nigeria, that Nigeria should give them citizenship and that they will continue to move freely, even though most of them are drug dealers, hardened international criminals. You know, the US is decongesting its prison, and due to their immigration policies, they are trying to push out all the criminals and, according to them, illegal aliens out of their country. So the Venezuelan government said they are not going to receive Venezuelans in their country. Countries like El Salvador, Najib Bukele decided to receive some of the hardened criminals, right? But then they come to Nigeria and insisted that we too will have to accept criminals in our country. That if you don't do that, they will do 2 things. Number 1, they will impose visa restriction on Nigeria. Number 2, they will declare Nigeria as a country of interest within the terrorist list. And that is why you see 3 critical events took effect very, I think, in succession. Number 1, there was a bishop that was invited from Benue to go to State Departments and condemn the act of terrorists. Instead, even though we know that the atrocities committed in Benue, it has to do mostly with the local political actors than real insecurity we think about, but then they decided to do that as a justification. Number 2, they also decided to invite some African countries, especially with countries within West African belt, without inviting Nigeria. And you know that no matter how damaged Nigeria is still the most relevant, most stable, most successful West African country. If they don't invite us on the table, it's just obvious bias. Number 3, now this visa restriction. So the next thing that is coming is that they will use this justification of that bishop that was invited to go and explain to State Department and some members of Congress about the atrocities being committed against the Christians, even though we know that so many Muslims die more on the atrocities in Nigeria than even Christians. But they are trying to make it like, a religious trouble just to stir conflict and instigate some problems in Nigeria. And that is the basic reason why they now impose this restriction. Now the next thing is to list Nigeria as part of countries of interest in the terror index. That's what they are trying to do. And this is really very, very bad. How do you expect Nigerian government to allow hardened criminals to come into Nigeria? How do you expect us to become a haven for international criminal syndicate to come and live among us as normal citizens? This is wrong. And I really am very proud of Nigerian government for standing firm and refusing to capitulate to the interests of the United States.
As you've seen in the video, that is what is going on. But as I said before, I love the energy that Nigeria is sending back to the US. Like, we are not going to be bullied. I mean, US is like the trophy of the world when it comes to, giving you visas. Like the process for any African person to go to that place is like the biggest achievement anyone could ever somehow have in the world, which is insane. And when it comes to them, it's just so easy. So because Nigeria was like, you know what, since it's so hard for us to go to the US, we should also do the same for the people from the US to be coming into Nigeria. But the US was like, hey, you are not on our level. We are the ones to tell you what to do. So if you do that, we are actually going to do this. So they are imposing that they are removing or revoking the visas of Nigerians and, trying to pray and put a bad name on Nigerians like they always do. And I always say this, the reason why they always come at Nigerians is because they open eyes for other African people. I always say this, every sector Nigeria or Nigerians are in, they are winning. Those people are very resilient. Those African black people are very, very resilient. And so when we see them winning, we are like, yeah, we can actually do that. And I feel like since Nigeria is also speaking up, I feel like other countries are going to be speaking up, even though when it came to Sudan, they accepted the illegals, the criminals that the US had to send to them, which I didn't really like. Like, why are you accepting illegals, criminals, people that are actually law offenders to be coming in and giving them citizenship? Like, how is that even normal? If the US does not even accept its own citizens that are loyal, that are working, why would we accept in their criminals? Why would they feel like it's okay for us to just accept in their criminals? It just screams disrespect and showing you and putting you in a place where they want you to be like, I'm your bully. You should just listen to what I tell you. So I feel bad for Sudan for accepting the illegals.
ICE have now started deporting people to Africa for detainment. 8 men in the custody of ICE were told that they were being moved to an ICE detainment center in Louisiana from Texas, only to their shock to find out that they later arrived in Djibouti. The men were held for weeks in shipping containers, shackles on their hands and their legs. This weekend, they were expelled to South Sudan, another country they have no ties to. This deception is highlighting the lengths at which U.S. under Trump's advisement will go to start deporting people to third-party countries under this entire ICE immigration lockdown. Lawyers for the 3 men said that once they resisted, they were told, "You're going to Louisiana. Don't worry, we're not going to deport you anywhere else." And imagine boarding a plane in Texas, thinking you're going on an hour or 2-hour flight max to Louisiana, and you end up in Djibouti. We know that this administration has said that they're going to start deporting people to countries they have no ties to, which will then make them migrants 2 times over, or immigrants 2 times over, because if I immigrated to America, why would you make me an immigrant in Djibouti?
I'm proud of Nigeria for standing on business. Yes, people are pissed. Nigerian people are so pissed right now. But then others are like, wait, actually, maybe this is a good thing, because there was a lot of Nigerian Trump supporters. And I shared videos of Africans that were really happy that Trump, is the winner of the elections of the US. They were so happy. But now, with everything that is going on, I'm pretty sure they are peeing in their pants. I'm sorry to say that, but I must say they must be hiding in their houses for this thing of mass deportation that is going on in the US that are targeting everybody. They must be in their pants like, hey, this is not what we wanted. This is not what we wanted.
The U.S. mission in Nigeria has announced that due to reciprocal visa policy, that Nigerians will now mostly be limited to single entry 3-month visas. These are for non-immigrant visas. Importantly, for those who are about to say it will touch everyone, it will not. Diplomatic visas are exempt. That means the people who are responsible for these policies, the people in government, are exempt from this. Second of all, I said, because some people are really upset if you follow me on Twitter, I said, congratulations to Nigerian Trump supporters and my condolences to everyone else. Now, people are like, it's not Trump's fault. It is a Trump administration policy to reciprocate in this manner. Yes. Should Nigeria have done a better visa agreement or visa policy with Americans originally? Yes. Should Tinubu have nominated ambassadors by now, more than 2 years into his administration? Yes. Can I still laugh at you if you're a Nigerian Trump supporter? Of course. You didn't vote for the man because you can't vote for him. That's also true, but that didn't stop you from supporting him. So that's not going to stop me from laughing at you. It's funny. Okay? Any policy that comes from the Trump administration that negatively affects a Nigerian Trump supporter is going to result in laughter from me. That's all I have to offer you. Giggles.
So I would say this situation is kind of a win, actually. Like, African nations are starting to speak up a bit that, hey, we are seeing the mess that is in your country. You're not going to put that more disorganization into our countries. You've caused enough wars as the US in the world. The last thing we need is to see illegal people from your countries into our countries. And I love that. Guys, that is it for me in this video. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think Nigeria is wrong for reciprocating what the US has always been, doing to African people? And also them standing up for themselves. Is it a crime? Is it a crime for us Africans to stand up and fight for ourselves and for our countries? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm always posting. I will see you in another video. Bye.